welcome to SuperThwak Part 2.
Yeah, this is the second episode, and we're going to be talking about specific topics, but also going in depth and some other stuff, so let's get into it.
Alright, so we've been trying to come up with a couple subjects, and I think we all agreed that we're going to start with basically like our top 3 comic book characters and who we would love to see as our dream castings for those characters.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Damian.
Cool. My first one that I thought of was Carnage, and I like the casting of Woody Harrelson as Carnage, but I hate the way he looked.
The wig.
The wig and everything else. But if I had to choose another actor to play him, it would be Michael C. Hall from Dexter. I think he kind of like looking at his face, he looks crazy too.
Well, that and you got to see him as a psychopath.
Yeah. Yes, I think that would fit.
Yeah.
Honestly, so
I think that'd be perfect.
yeah, that's my first one.
Okay. And then we'll alternate. I'll go next. My favorite superhero of all time is Green Arrow. Even got it tattooed on me too. It was like one of the first ones that I was like, I'm going there. I think Charlie Hunnam would be perfect. The way he looked in Sons of Anarchy, playing Jax, when he had the goatee, it was just like, aesthetically, it was like perfect for that.
What about King Arthur?
I mean, he looked that way in King Arthur too. I don't think King Arthur was as good as it should have been, especially because it was supposed to lead up to like a franchise of movies.
Right.
But that stopped dead in the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So my next one would have to be Vulture, and this was actually a rumor back when Spider-Man 4 was still going to be a thing. John Malkovich is Vulture, and I think that would look like comic accurate and everything. And
yeah.
So he would have been a good choice, I think.
Wasn't his character supposed to be like Mary Jane's dad?
Something weird like that.
Yeah.
They always have to change something.
Yeah. And then weren't they gonna have what's her name? She played Catwoman in the Dark Knight.
Anne Hathaway?
Yeah, they were gonna have her play Felicia Hardy, I think, Black Cat.
Okay.
And they were gonna team up together.
Black Cat was supposed to be in that too. I forgot about that. Yeah, it was just them two? I think it was just them two.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the two main villains, and I think there was also storyboarding options for Mysterio back then too.
Yeah. But he was in the Spider-Man 2 game.
Yeah.
Mysterio was.
Yeah, no, that was probably one of my favorite missions in that game, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Alright, well, if I had to pick for Nightwing, because I've been waiting for a Nightwing movie for...
They were supposed to make it, they were talking about it last year or the year before.
Yeah, but after everything started going downhill at DC Universe, they scrapped everything. We were looking on Friday, and Cyborg was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in April.
And they never got close to filming that.
Yeah.
So, I think Zac Efron would be a perfect choice.
Yeah, I think so.
He has, he's always in shape, so it would work perfect for him. And like me and you were talking a little bit ago, I think that no matter what he does, he's a likable actor. Mm-hmm. To the point where, he played Ted Bundy, and I was happy with his performance as Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he doesn't seem too bad. I can see how people can try to be on his side, that whole, serial killer, almost like Stockholm Syndrome that people get with serial killers and start writing them letters. Mm-hmm. And he literally got married to a lady while he was in jail type of thing.
Yeah, he has a lot of good charisma, a lot of good energy about him. So, yeah, I think that would be good. So, my last one is Iron Man. So, I think back, was it the 90s or early 2000s, something like that, it was rumored that Quentin Tarantino was actually thinking about making an Iron Man movie, and I think Tom Cruise was a option to play Tony Stark. And I think that'd be, really interesting to see Tom Cruise in a Tarantino movie, period, but especially Iron Man.
Yeah, no, I think that would have been interesting, but wasn't he the one who actually turned it down because it was either because he didn't want to play a superhero or Iron Man wasn't a big enough name character for him to play?
Something like that. He turned it down.
Wow, how time has changed.
Yeah.
Iron Man's one of the best-selling action figures, comics, movies of all time. Yeah. So, big mistake.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of money on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, my next one, I was trying to figure out who would make a good Flash. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking back recently to movies where, someone's able to like portray a nerdy character fairly well. And the only thing I could think of, like, he can do it and not be so jumpy like Ezra Miller was as the Flash.
Yeah.
Was someone who was actually almost recently cast as Batman, which was Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he got close to having that role. Yeah.
But then if you go back and watch him during First Class, I think X-Men First Class, he was one of the few good things about those movies as Beast.
Yep.
So he played the nerdy character off pretty well.
Yeah, I think he'd take it probably a little more seriously than what we got in Justice League.
And I think that he also was able to stand his ground a little bit more because he's more of an experienced actor than Ezra Miller, where I think that there were bad acting decisions made by Ezra Miller, but I think there was also bad direction on where the character should go for Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult seems like he has a little bit more sway, and he's taken a little bit more serious, just evidenced by almost being cast as Batman.
Right, yeah, So, looks like we can move on.
Okay. So, the other topic we wanted to touch on is our favorite actors, actresses, and directors. My favorite director has always been the easiest thing for me to pull out of a hat because I can go into any one of this dude's movies and watch it over and over and over and over. To the point where about 2 months ago, me and Damian actually went and saw Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
And watched him and Jason Mewes do a Q&A. It's Kevin Smith.
Yeah, we were like right in the front row and they were like a few feet away from us.
Yeah. Like watching the movie kind of sucked because like the faces were distorted because of how we were sitting at the screen. But it was really dope just being able to sit there and like be feet away from a person. I listen to their podcast every day of the week because he has a huge catalog you can go back on.
And his movie, like, I wouldn't even call them reviews, they're like recaps that he does.
Yeah.
They're like really good to listen to.
Well, and I know he hates most movie reviewers, so he's like, don't listen to what I have to say. If I enjoyed it, cool, go take your own opinion and form it there, because he's had his own movies that have been ruined by critics. So, and like, I think the other thing I admire about him is he doesn't really care too much because he knows his audience and he makes movies specifically for them.
Right.
To where, like, critics will even say, like, he's only trying to cater his one audience. He's like, yeah, that's all I have to do. He's like, I know who I'm making the movie for, and that way I know even if it fails,
they're always going to come out to watch them. So.
Exactly.
Did you guys know he recently just got banned from WWE events?
Yes, because
why? Because he had an appearance on the front row in the AEW event
on their very first episode.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, because he was going around promoting Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and on the premiere episode of AEW Dynamite, he decided they were sitting in the front row and did a little segment. And he was supposed to go on Friday Night SmackDown later that week. And he got a call, and they're like, yeah, you don't need to show up anymore.
Wow.
He's like, okay, works for me. But, yeah, I could watch that guy do anything. From Clerks, Chasing Amy, Clerks 2, Mallrats.
Yep.
I'm so excited for the new Mallrats and Clerks 3. So happy.
Because I think Clerks 2 is probably better than the first one.
I think. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. The comedy was more, it was quicker and it was wittier, I think, than the second one. And it definitely kept you, especially the stuff with the Elias character.
Yeah.
Every little bit about that made me happy.
Yeah.
And Rosario Dawson, too.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen Clerks 2, Nate?
I have not.
You have not? No.
I've seen Clerks, the first Clerks, like 10 different times.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Clerks 2.
I would definitely recommend Clerks 2. It's fantastic. Also, Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
That's a great movie.
Did he direct that?
Yes. He directed that. That's why Jason Mewes is in it. I think there's even an appearance from Robert Kirkman in that movie.
I have to go back and watch that one. It's been a while.
He's the Steelers fan that walks in during while they're filming. And he's like, you guys open? I want some coffee.
Yeah.
It's all hammered.
Wow, I forgot about that one.
And then, who would you pick for your favorite director?
Favorite director? There's like a lot to choose from. And I'd probably have to go with Quentin Tarantino. Because I think his movies are the most, like, original out of anybody. Like, he doesn't, like, do, like... like he kind of does based on a true story in a way, but he kind of like alters it to like his own thing. But he's never done like a straight up like based on a true story. Like The Irishman was based on a true story. He's never done something like that.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's if there's ever a historical movie or a historical moment that he touches on. Ever since Inglourious Bastards, I'm excited to see what happens because I did not expect him to kill Hitler. It made me happy.
Yeah,
I was like,
shot him in the face multiple times.
Lit him on fire.
Yeah.
I was definitely happy with that. And then going and seeing Once Upon a Time, like I said, Once Upon a Time was definitely my favorite movie last year. The subversion of, like, taking something that happened in reality and just tweaking that little bit to make it a happy ending, honestly. Which
was a happy ending, yeah.
Which is weird for a Tarantino movie, because, like, I wouldn't call Reservoir Dogs really happy ending, because that was pretty much just, like, everybody died.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think one character got away from that heist, except for maybe, I can't think of his name, the guy from, he's been in a lot of stuff, but Boardwalk Empire, also from Billy Madison, he's the dude who's putting on the lipstick and shoots the dude at the end.
Oh, Steve Buscemi.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I can think of his face, it's unforgettable.
Right.
I think
his voice is too.
Yes. I think he might have been the only character to get away, is what, like, theories say.
Yeah.
But even then, you hear the gunshots going off as soon as he gets out of the building, so it's like,
Yeah, I think it's, like, if you have, like, any interest in, like, movies or anything like that, like, I think it's hard not to, like, get inspired when you watch one of his movies, like, especially, like, Pulp Fiction. That kind of, like, makes me, like, wanted to make me write scripts and stuff like that. It's like...
Oh, yeah. Well, and the other amazing thing about that is, like, you don't realize almost until the end of the movie that all of the stories converge and meet up.
Yeah, and they're out of order, too, basically.
And then when you go back and watch them, you see everything kind of... You're like, oh, okay, there's Vincent in the background in the first scene, and you're like... It all, like, adds up, but you would not guess your first time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, so that's my favorite director.
Okay. And then, if I had to pick a favorite actor... I think I lean more towards Jake Gyllenhaal, but I chose Jake Gyllenhaal or Edward Norton. I love Jake Gyllenhaal because he has such a wide filmography.
Yeah.
To where there's two movies that pop up when I think of him. Think of End of Watch, which I absolutely loved.
That was a sad movie.
Oh, it was. But so well acted. Like, especially, I hate shaky cam movies. But I loved End of Watch. I think a lot of that comes from growing up with the grandparents who were both cops, uncle who was a cop, great uncle was a cop. My mom worked in the Adams County Jail for a while, so like I have a lot of respect for people that work in the police.
Yeah,
especially
like in an area where they were. Yeah, like that's pretty hectic. And like their chemistry they had, Michael Pena and Jake Gyllenhaal, like it really feels like they've known each other for like ever. Oh yeah, and they didn't try to hold it back to where it seemed too professional. Like it seemed like how two cops would sit there and act in the car. Yeah. It seemed like two dudes who were like best friends and are okay spending their work life together and their actual like outside of work life. Yeah, because you can see that they get involved in their personal lives like deeply a lot too. Yeah. Yeah. And the other movie that pops up in my head, just because I think it was the first movie I ever saw with Jake Gyllenhaal, is Bubble Boy. I loved that movie. That's right. I forget. It's so different from anything else he's ever done. Because like even Donnie Darko before that was very different. Like he's never really tried to pigeonhole himself into any one kind of character. Getting typecast. Yeah. Yeah. Because you have Bubble Boy, you have Donnie Darko, you have End of Watch, and then you have Jarhead. Yep. Did you watch Velvet Buzzsaw last year? I didn't get to. It was weird. Was it? But like, seeing him play a gay man, like he stretched for every role. I've seen Nightcrawler. That's like one of his best ones. That's the same director as Velvet Buzzsaw. Yeah. But yeah, Nightcrawler. He should have been nominated for that one. Like, that was insane. And then Edward Norton also. He has a pretty wide filmography. Maybe not quite as genre spreading. Yeah. But love American History X. He like looks intimidating as shit in that movie when he's like built like that.
It's terrifying in that movie. Like, especially like he made me scared of white supremacists for a while. Like, I mean, luckily we never had to really grow up meeting any, but
they still scare me.
No, well, I don't have to worry about it as much as you guys do, but still, it definitely added like a cloud of like terror to that kind of human, because you kind of see how one-track minded they are about having one
viewpoint.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of terrifying. And then you go watch him in the better Hulk movie.
Yeah, it's hard to say which one. Like, they're all not that good.
Ang Lee's Hulk was horrible. That's why I said the better Hulk movie. And then Fight Club.
Yeah,
love Fight Club.
Did you see him in Birdman?
Yes.
Yeah, he was really good in Birdman.
And the weird part about Birdman is he played a character that seemed exactly like him in real life, according to reports, where he's just difficult to work with.
Yeah. Wants to do everything his own way.
Yeah. To the point where, like, did you hear about all the drama that happened with American History X when they were filming?
No, I don't think so.
Like, the director tried to get his name pulled from the movie. And,
really?
like put his, like, some fake name.
Wow.
Because he took over. He took over the editing. He took over everything. Rewrote the script. Went behind the director's back. Went to like the studio and everything. Got everything changed to the point the director was like, "Dude, I don't want anything to do with it." It's like, I don't care how it turns out. Just get me away from it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work with anybody like that either.
Yeah,
it's insane. So my favorite actor, it was a toss-up between two of them. One of them was Jake Gyllenhaal, and I think the main one was Ryan Gosling. He's another actor too. Like, if you just seen him in like The Notebook or whatever, like you'd think he's just that guy, but he like really dove deep into like independent movies, like Place Beyond the Pines, Drive, and stuff like that, and really stuff that kind of stretches you as an actor.
Yeah, no, he's one actor I've always wanted to kind of see in more of like a superhero role, because he has the stage presence and the physicality to kind of carry a role like that. So
yeah, and he was actually cast as Joker originally in Suicide Squad, but I think he had to drop out for like because of scheduling conflicts or something.
Yeah,
so that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah, no, and another person who had to drop, I don't know if he dropped out or what, but another option for a Joker for the Joker movie would have made me happy was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting. I was happy with Joaquin Phoenix, but there's always the what if and what could Leonardo DiCaprio have done in that role, because you see everything else he does and how far he stretches, just like Joaquin. So
yeah, for sure.
And then that's kind of how I see Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he would have done a lot better with, or not Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Gosling. That's how I think he would have done a lot better than Jared Leto, at least.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know if you saw La La Land.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah, that's probably I moved up to being my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I love that movie. But he's good in that movie, and that kind of shows you that he's good in like mainstream movies too, not just independent. You kind of like go both ways.
Yeah.
So.
And that got a lot of love from Oscars, like to the point where Moonlight almost got screwed out of an award.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of unforgettable moment right there. And then we'll move on to favorite actress. So originally I said, when we wrote everything down, I wrote down just Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. And I love Scarlett Johansson. Fantastic actress. Black Widow to... I was looking at something the other day. I forgot she was in Home Alone 3.
Was she really? I've never even seen Home Alone 3 now.
It's definitely the worst of the Home Alone movies, but that's one of like... She was a teenager at the time, so it's definitely weird to see her from then till now, but then you have Lucy...
She was in that movie. It was an independent one. It's called Under the Skin. She's like an alien or some shit like that.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's supposed to be really good. I haven't seen it either.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And then she was in that movie Don Juan with
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
That's a good movie. He directed that too.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
You know, I can pretty much watch anything with her in it. I know the only thing I haven't watched with her in it, just because of all the drama, and I just wasn't really ever into animes, was Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, I didn't even touch that. Yeah, like nah.
And there was a lot of drama because of the whole whitewashing aspect of it.
What about her?
Yeah. Her, honestly, I've never seen that one.
Me either. I started watching it, but a lot of people say she should have been nominated for her voiceover work. Yeah. Like, I guess it was really good.
It's not surprising. Like, I think after Black Widow, she started taking a lot more serious roles.
Yeah.
And, or maybe not even more serious, but more respected roles. Mm-hmm. To where she can kind of start crafting her legacy at that point.
Yep.
And then I think if I had to pick one more, I'd probably go with Rosario Dawson. I don't know quite as much of her filmography, but I loved her in all of the Marvel shows on Netflix.
Okay.
I love her in Clerks 2. Mm-hmm. She was fantastic. Easily one of the most memorable parts of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what was that movie she did? Was it Alexander with Colin Farrell? Like early 2000s.
Yeah.
She was really good in that. Everything I've seen her in is super memorable. Mm-hmm. So, just for reasons like that alone, she'd have to be one of my favorites.
For sure. And going back to Scarlett Johansson, I don't know if you saw Marriage Story yet.
No,
she's really good in that one too.
Still in my queue.
Yeah, definitely check that one out.
For sure.
Yeah. So for my favorite actress, overall, I'd probably have to go with Emma Stone, just because I like her career trajectory, like where she started, like kind of in comedies like Superbad, Easy A, and stuff like that. Zombieland, and now she's doing she's an Oscar winner. She won for La La Land.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I really respect her as an actress, and for sure.
No. I loved her in Superbad. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Superbad. And
oh yeah.
she was easily one of the best full on actors in the movie. Like Jonah Hill was fantastic. Michael Cera was fantastic. I would even like to see Michael Cera in a comedy role for a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it would fit best.
Mm-hmm. He's a hard one to.
Yeah, just because he's so. He wouldn't fit in a superhero outfit very well.
No.
Because he's so tiny.
He'd have to be some sort of side character, something.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but also another one that I chose was Saoirse Ronan. She's probably my favorite actress right now. She was in The Lovely Bones. She was in Lady Bird. I don't know if you saw Lady Bird.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Yeah, she's another one where I just look up to as far as acting, the craft of acting. So
didn't Lady Bird get a bunch of awards praise when it came out? Between that and I know the other big movie that year that it was pretty much fighting against was 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah. That whole year was stacked, man.
Yeah, because was it the year after that La La Land came out?
La La Land came out the year before. It came out in 2016. Yeah.
A lot of those years just start to kind of merge because it feels like there's a non-stop build of good movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. And last year was really good too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saoirse Ronan and Emma Stone are probably my choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then me and you are both huge Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Me and you have the same favorite Star Wars movie, which is...
But some people might give a shit for.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure, especially because there's a lot of people who don't like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, but I think he actually did a pretty good job in that one, and you build 2 movies that I liked Phantom Menace when I was a kid. Attack of the Clones was harder for me to get into.
I won't. That's the only one I really won't watch.
Is Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, I can't do
that and Last Jedi now.
And Last Jedi. Yeah.
It's always the second in the new trilogies that you're just not a big fan of.
But Revenge of the Sith is my favorite one. I don't care what anybody says. And a close second would be Empire Strikes Back. And that's probably everyone's favorite overall.
I honestly, I loved Empire Strikes Back, but I think if I had to pick my second, I'd probably go Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I love the finales and not having to wait another 3 years for some closure. So both of those, especially knowing what happens after Revenge of the Sith, I felt that it was like tightly wrapped up to where
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there being like, all right, here we go, another 2-3 years until I get something else.
Yeah.
Thinking I would honestly never get anything else, and then all of a sudden you get Rogue One, Han Solo story, then a whole another 3 movies.
Mm-hmm. Like, if I had to make it into a list, right, of all of them, and go Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, probably Force Awakens, then I would go The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi,
Attack
of the Clones, and then Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is still my least favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. I think I look at a Phantom Menace with like rose tinted glasses just because of how young I was.
Yeah, what was that, 99?
Yep, 99.
Like 4 or 5 years old.
I will say that I feel bad for what is his name, Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I loved him in Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
And after Star Wars came out, his career disappeared.
Yeah. He went off the deep end for a while.
Yeah, he has had the run in with the law a few times since then, and I don't think there's ever a chance of him coming back, because I was listening to one of Kevin Smith's podcasts. It was like the spoiler podcast for Rise of Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about all the voices they brought back at the end.
Yeah.
And he's like, did they bring back Jake Lloyd?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I think he's busy in jail.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucked up.
And the dude who played Jar Jar, he got contemplated suicide for a while there too. I was watching one of his interviews. Yeah, because all the backlash he was getting from everybody.
I'm
Star Wars
sure.
fans are some of the worst.
Oh, yeah. They're the most, like, venomous crowd when it comes to fandom. I will say, I think that Jar Jar... I liked him more when I was a kid. I definitely can't stand him now. Mm-hmm. Just the, like, stereotype, almost, voice that he uses. And, it's just not... I think it could have been done better if they would have actually, like, followed that whole theory of, like, the evil Jar Jar thing that they were talking about.
I feel like that would have made it worse.
I feel like it would have given people more of a reason to hate him, to where maybe the actor would have been better off.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was easily one of the worst parts of the prequel trilogy.
For sure.
But I think, so if I had to put mine in rankings, I would probably go Revenge of the Sith, obviously, and then Return of the Jedi, Empire, New Hope, then probably Force Awakens, then I go Last Jedi, Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones. Actually, no. I'd go Phantom Menace, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones.
Well, Rise of Skywalker.
I completely forgot that one.
So that means it's not that good.
Yeah. I'd probably put Rise of Skywalker right below The Force Awakens.
Okay. Yeah, because I did like that one more than Last Jedi.
Yeah.
For sure.
It definitely wasn't perfect. It definitely had problems, but...
I just liked how they made the Emperor look like a zombie almost. I was like, oh.
See, that's the only thing that bothered me, honestly. Like, or not the only thing. It's one of the things that bothered me. The way he looked was dope, but it looked nothing like what he looked like in either Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi.
Well, it kind of started looking like that at the end. Towards the end, remember where he started? He was absorbing their life energy, and then he started looking like that.
Well, like, but even before that, he like in those last movies, his face was like more lumpy.
Yeah,
he looked like more smooth skin in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
but other than that, like,
I liked when he just like a roof opened up and he just shot out a bunch. I was like, oh.
That reminded me of what was it Revenge of the Sith or was it Return of the Jedi? The unlimited power.
That's Revenge of the Sith. He uses that on
Mace Windu.
Yeah, it's Mace Windu.
Yeah, and, like it just reminded me of that line because of the amount of lightning that was shooting.
That was
out
like
of his
ridiculous.
fingers.
I was like, holy shit.
Right, it was way OP. So the only thing we don't agree on Star Wars, or wait, do you have an opinion, Nate? Since you haven't really had a whole lot of words to say this one, do you have a favorite Star Wars movie?
No.
No? Oh.
Do you watch Star Wars?
I do. I've seen them all. Not impressed.
Really?
What?
Yeah. I prefer Star Trek. Sorry, guys.
See, that's my only thing. Like I said in the last podcast, not big on Star Trek. I would probably only really sit down and be interested in a Star Trek movie if it was a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Just because I'd want to see
and even
something
then,
different.
I'd probably see it once.
Yeah. And that's saying something, like, for Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Well, you guys realize that Star Trek is a show, right? And not a movie. There's movies that they're like
well, yeah, it started out as a show.
But and I respect people who like
as
it.
a show.
Yeah.
I respect people who like it. It was just one of those things I could never get into. It was one of those things, like, even more back in the day, more than now, there was a hard line. You were either one or the other.
Yeah.
I watched, what is it, Into Darkness, and maybe the one before that.
The one before that was just Star Trek, I think. The first J.J. Abrams one.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've seen out of those.
And, like, I thought they were alright, but, like, I've literally only watched them once.
Yeah. It doesn't pull me in like Star Wars does.
Yeah. It's easier for me to follow, especially because you're, for the most part, stuck following, like, the one family or group for literally 9 movies.
Yeah.
Especially those first 6. I like the first 6 more than the last 3 they've done.
I just feel like the last 3 of the new trilogy, it really didn't have, like, a story, like, outline for all 3 of them.
Yeah.
It kind of, like, J.J. Abrams started it and then just gave it to Rian Johnson and said, do whatever. I'm like, that's not how you...
If anything else, if they wanted to do that, they at least needed to storyboard and get a plan in place first.
Yeah.
That way Rian Johnson couldn't take it off of the rails.
Mm-hmm. Which he did.
Yeah. And it's honestly kind of surprising with seeing how tight Disney has structured the Marvel Universe to let them completely go free with Star Wars. It's kind of surprising because Marvel is like, you see it with Scott Derrickson this week, that he didn't fit what they wanted, so they shoot him off, and Star Wars didn't start doing that until after Rian Johnson made Last Jedi. So, but like I was saying, the only thing we really don't agree on Star Wars wise is favorite video games.
Yeah. We got 2 completely different ones.
And there is honestly a very large catalog of Star Wars games that you would never even realize. I probably couldn't tell you exactly how many they've made, but you have the arcade games, the N64 games, PlayStation. Like, I remember playing an Obi-Wan game on the original Xbox.
Yep.
I loved that. But
the pod racing game.
Oh god.
The 64.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah.
If I had to pick though, I'd probably go with Knights of the Old Republic. I absolutely love that game. The story, everybody knows, or every hardcore Star Wars fan knows who Darth Revan is based off of a video game.
Yeah. And people want him in the movies.
To the point where, and we left this off of our news video, the whole High Republic leak that they did this week, they're going to do a series of High Republic movies. And EA is actually in the process of making a High Republic video game. It's supposed to be a whole nother era where the Old Republic was something like 1,000 years before the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
The High Republic is supposed to be closer to around 400 years before the Skywalker saga.
Okay.
So you might be able to see a Yoda that is like 300, 400 years old compared to the old decrepit towards the end. So there's a lot of interesting stuff they could do. They can kind of redo the Knights of the Old Republic and do it just High Republic and have a cool little twist like that again at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go RPG like that or if they're going to try to stick more with the style they had with Fallen Order, which I absolutely love that one too.
I still got to play that.
Yeah. And then you had your own favorite Star Wars game. What was that one?
Yeah, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I used to play it a lot when I was a kid. It was on 64. And I forget the name of the main character, but he's kind of like a Han Solo-esque type dude. And yeah, you basically have to fight Boba Fett at one point, IG-88, and basically kind of like a bounty hunting game, kind of. So.
Oh, that just kind of depressed me. Because do you remember Star Wars 1313?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a game based on bounty hunting, right? It was supposed to be like open world or something.
Yeah, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's when LucasArts closed down and stuff.
It's when Disney bought Star Wars and
ruined it all.
Oh man, I think that's the one thing that before Disney bought Star Wars that they were doing better than they're doing now, at least marketing wise and everything. And obviously the movies haven't been fantastic compared to the old ones, but the video game side, the Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were not worth my money, at least. I wish they would have at least kept producing that game, just absorb the assets and keep going.
Yeah.
Just based off of hype back in the day, that game would have made bank.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I will say, I think if I had one other favorite Star Wars game, it would be the Revenge of the Sith tie-in game. It let you play the story mode as either Obi-Wan or Anakin, and it even let you do a different ending from the movie if you were to beat the game as Anakin, and it always made me happy as a kid. So.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of the last. I feel like one of the last movie video games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of the only good ones too.
Yeah.
Because I think after that they might have done Transformers and.
First couple MCU.
Yeah, they did Iron Man, they did Captain America. I remember they did a Green Lantern one based off of the Ryan Reynolds movie.
There was a Thor game too.
Yeah, and none of them went anywhere. I don't know of anybody who's even talked about playing them, honestly.
Oh, no.
So.
Oh, and then the Amazing Spider-Man movies had games. I think the first Amazing Spider-Man, I think that's like a rare one now to get.
So it's on the Xbox One. They have it in the back catalog.
Okay.
I liked it when it first came out. It does not hold up. Like, I could go back and play the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
Still love them.
Yeah.
They play pretty smooth for being PS2, Xbox originals.
Mm-hmm.
And the story, like, Spider-Man 2 was one of my favorite video games of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Delivering pizzas and shit.
God, I honestly hated those side missions, but they felt organic. It didn't feel tacked in like a lot of games do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then, so this is a pretty big year for movies. Like, honestly, we were going over what we were anticipating, and there's a lot bigger list than I actually realized. Stuff that I forgot about, stuff that I've been looking forward to for years, and then stuff that's just popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think one of my most anticipated, just because of Guardians of the Galaxy, is the Eternals.
Yeah, and that's another one, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like, a lot of people don't know what it is or who they are, and once it comes out, it'll just be, like, the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I love Batman, I love Spider-Man, I love all the big superheroes, but when they can take a nothing comic and make it into this giant event that's probably going to get $1 billion in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And make these characters so memorable, like they did with Guardians, it makes me excited to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Especially, like we talked last week with the Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest, at least visual shock.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, but I think as far as, for me, like, one of my most anticipated is probably A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, and like me and you talked when that trailer came out, I almost feel bad for underestimating that movie.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure what they were going to do with it or what they could do with it.
It felt like everything was pretty much tied up with that last one.
Yeah.
And for them to do anything else, I was like, I don't know. And then as soon as the trailer comes out, you see a little bit of a like prequel and leading up into the present day right after the end of the first one.
Yeah.
It made me excited to see how everything started, and then hopefully they are able to tie it up to where I don't have to worry about watching a third one.
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't want, normally, especially horror movies, they kind of like keep adding and adding until it becomes stale, like Saw.
Yeah.
Especially.
I even told you the other day, Saw is probably my favorite all-time horror franchise.
Yep.
But it definitely started having diminishing returns after the third one.
Yeah, that's where they should have stopped.
Yeah.
Like, it was a reasonable ending. Like,
well, and that's the movie where the main villain died, so
yeah,
it was
Jigsaw,
like...
he takes the saw to the throat.
Yeah. I will say I did like the Jigsaw reboot.
I did not.
No?
No, not at all. I was like, oh my.
And I'm looking even more forward to the, what is it, Chris Rock reboot that they're doing?
Hopefully that's good. Like, I have some faith in it.
Because I think the two people I've heard that are signed on so far are Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, basically playing Chris Rock's dad.
Yes.
So...
And that's where I never thought I'd see Samuel L. in a Saw movie.
Right? Because I'm trying to think if he's really done anything horror-wise. I think the closest thing you could really say is, like, Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
And that's not really, like, a straight-face horror movie.
No.
So.
And I'm curious to see what the tone of it's going to be. Like, I hope it's not too comedic. I hope they still take it seriously. Like, kind of like Jordan Peele's a comedic guy, and he made Get Out, and that was pretty serious.
And I think that's why I'm mostly looking forward to it, because there's so much hype behind these comedic actors and what they've been doing lately, and how they throw you a 180, because you have John Krasinski's Quiet Place.
Yep.
You have Us and
Get Out.
Get Out. Those were just fantastic.
Yeah. And I hope the cinematography's good, like really good. Like, 'cause I don't know. That's the main thing I look for too. Is like cinematography and the look of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Just don't want it to look cheesy.
I would be happy with like almost that greenish lighting they did with the first one again.
It just feels like dirty. And
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It feels like you're gonna get tetanus from watching the movie. And then so other movies that are coming out, and me and you both put this on our list, is Antlers.
Yeah.
That got me really excited because me and Nate are actually starting a t-shirt company, and our my tattoo guy is doing all of our artwork and everything, and he sent us over our first mythical creature that we're putting on our t-shirts, and it's a Wendigo, which is the basis for Antlers.
Yeah.
So those two things to line up for me at the same time got me excited, and I was happy that in the trailer they didn't show you everything.
Yeah, you kind of get a glimpse of it.
Yeah,
But,
just
you know,
the antlers.
like,
maybe.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping it'll be good. It's directed by Scott Cooper, I believe his name is, and he did a movie 2 years ago called Hostiles. It's like a Western movie, like Civil War era, with Christian Bale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's known mostly for those types of movies. So I think this is his first horror movie. So
Cool.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
And Guillermo del Toro is producing it.
That gives me even more faith
Yeah.
in it. Like, his art direction for things.
Oh, yeah.
You go back to the original Hellboy movies, or
Yep.
even his most recent
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water, and then also Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh yeah, he was involved with that. Yeah. Overall, the movie wasn't too great, but like
I haven't seen it, but
creature-wise.
I heard the art direction of it was very well done. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I'm really looking forward to, I didn't even realize it was coming out this year. I thought I was going to have to wait till next year. It's Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah, the third one.
Anything Keanu Reeves does, I'm excited for.
Oh, yeah.
But to bring something back up that actually came out before I think either of us were born.
The 80s, yeah.
Gets me super excited. And it's weird because it's not even in the same universe as the first two, technically.
Okay.
Because something happened in the timeline where they didn't become, like, rock gods.
Oh.
So now they're both raising their daughters, and they're trying to resurrect that timeline and make themselves rock gods again. So we'll see how all that turns out. But either way, I'm looking forward to another PG-13 friendly stoner movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and the other one that we both had on our list was the new Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet.
oh yes,
And the trailer just dropped, a few months ago? 2 months ago?
yes.
Yeah, and that looks really good.
I know you said you didn't go watch Star Wars in IMAX, but I remember hearing a groan when there was like 20 minutes of trailers before the movie.
Oh, yeah. Especially AMC.
Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Tenet popped up, and they showed 5-6 minute clip from the movie, which I was surprised by. But you heard an audible groan of people just like, come on, let's watch this. Like, let's get it over with. But it got me super excited, like, seeing how they manipulate time and everything else that's going into it. I'm honestly happy that I don't know a whole lot of what's going to happen in the movie. So, something original. The one thing I will say is I heard it's actually same universe and tied into Inception.
Yeah, because visually it almost looks identical to it.
Yeah, one of the theories I heard was that it's basically Robert Pattinson is playing one of Leonardo DiCaprio's kids from the first movie.
Ah.
So, if that's true, awesome, but there's a lot of wait and see on that one.
Yeah.
So, another one I'm excited for is The Gentleman.
Okay.
It's Matthew McConaughey plays an American weed dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically becomes sort of a kingpin over in England. And you have Charlie Hunnam's in it. Hugh Grant is in it, and I haven't seen him in anything. I think the last big movie I heard he was in, I haven't watched it, is that second Bridget Jones movie that came out last year or the year before.
Yeah. He was in Paddington too, I think.
I honestly haven't watched those.
No, I haven't either, but I think he's in those. Yeah.
He definitely dropped off after that whole prostitution scandal.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to that one. I haven't seen Charlie Hunnam in a whole lot since that King Arthur movie, so I'm excited to see him start something again.
And I think it's a Guy Ritchie movie too.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much anything he does, I'm excited for.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah. And my last one of the year that I'm excited for is Wonder Woman 1984.
yeah,
I've been looking forward to it. Wonder Woman sequel since I finished watching the first one.
Yeah, no, that first one, like, tone-wise, it was still kind of dark, especially because you set it in World War I.
Yeah, which I was fine.
Yes,
That was nice.
especially because it kind of stuck with the Batman vs Superman tone and the Man of Steel tone.
Yeah.
While also having moments of levity.
Mm-hmm.
This new one is a lot more colorful and bright, but doesn't look hopeful. It literally looks like the book, I don't know if you ever read it in high school, 1984. And I think that's partly where they get their title from.
Okay.
Have you ever watched, I can't remember what movie it is, but it basically the idea of 1984 is you have this government, they call it Big Brother. They have cameras on you, they watch everything you do. You're basically not allowed to have any advantages over any other citizens. It's like, it's basically like communism on steroids.
Based off an Orwell book.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
You heard George Orwell, right?
Yeah, I heard of it.
yeah, that's the book 1984.
Yeah. It's about like an alternative reality of like what could have happened after World War II if we went a certain route. And a lot of people say that we actually did go that route. They introduced a new form of speech that's called simple speak, which is just a dumbed down version of English. That way anyone can learn it. They just, like you said, there's cameras everywhere. They're just watching you, just trying to limit your thoughts. Think like a North Korea, but in a first world country.
Yeah, like on steroids.
Yeah.
Like
Think China.
Yeah, pretty much. And there goes the demonetization, if we had any yet. But it looks like it's kind of in that vein because it's very brightly colored to like almost tease the audience into like following what the government would want. That's what the Maxwell Lord character kind of seems like he's doing in that movie.
Because like overall too, like I think that coloring and stuff kind of fits the 80s too.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the other stuff sounds interesting, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's it's definitely gonna be a good movie. It's another one of those that it's gonna shed another light on the DC universe, and ultimately, I think it decides a lot of things for the future.
Yeah.
It decides whether or not we get Robert Pattinson as Batman in a Justice League movie. It decides whether or not we keep Jared Leto as the Joker.
Yeah.
The big theory with that one is that they're going to do kind of a Flashpoint thing in it and rewrite everything to where you can get rid of the worst parts of your Justice League and stuff like that.
Because that'd be the movie to do it. Because I don't think they're going to make a Flash movie anytime soon.
Yeah, not... Especially because Ezra Miller was writing the movie, I believe, with... Was it Jeff Johns or Chris Terrio? And they were trying to come up with a script that he was happy with, otherwise he was going to walk away. If it wasn't that he was going to walk away, it was that DC was going to push him out because they're like, you didn't really show up for us in Justice League. So.
Right.
But either way, there's a lot to look forward to this year. And then there's one thing me and you wanted to touch on real quick before we wrap up this podcast. There has been some issues with, we have old technology on both of our ends, and it's caused a couple issues with uploading.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we're shooting in 4K either.
Yes, it makes it very hard to translate to a somewhat older computer.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're not going to be able to tell everybody when we're going to upload things at the moment. We're still going to be shooting all of our stuff on Fridays and Sundays, but due to upload times, editing times, and things of that like, it will take probably at least a couple extra days. So expect our news videos out closer to Sundays, Mondays, even though it's an end of the week recap. And then I think it's fair to say that our podcasts will more likely be Tuesday-ish.
Yeah, around Tuesday.
And then for now, we're going to still have to stick with no video for the podcast until we're able to get a new computer to upload everything faster.
We're learning everything.
Yeah.
This is the beginning.
And like me and him said, it's better that it's now than a year and a half down the road.
Yeah.
So there's a lot for us to learn and a lot for us to do to keep this going and get it going smoother. But overall, we're both happy with the direction everything's going, and just keep on plugging and
and make sure to message us on our email and our social medias with any questions you guys have.
We'll answer them in our new segment that we're going to hopefully start next week if we get some questions in. It'll be called the ThwakJak Attack. It'll basically be a Q&A section of our SuperThwak Podcast. And then if anybody just wants to, if you wouldn't mind liking our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the good social medias, and we'll keep you guys updated on all of our future plans, and we hope you guys stick with us. So
until next time, I'm Damian.
Anthony.
I'm Nate.
The quiet one.
Even though I didn't say that in this podcast. Next one I'll be more interested. Depends on these topics, guys. Come on.
Alright, well, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.
See ya.